Now it's time to check in with world shifters and shapers who are helping to fly the flag high for Mzansi and beyond. It's time for From ZA with Love, and today we're chatting to Olympic gold medalist Clos, who is on track on becoming South Africa's most successful Olympian of all time if he adds to the 4 medals he won in London 2012 and Rio 2016 in Tokyo next year. Now currently his main focus is on creating face masks to help combat coronavirus. He joins us now just to tell us a bit more about this. Good morning, Chad, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. Firstly and foremost, how are you keeping up, and how's the recovery going from the 2 surgeries that you've just undergone?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, thanks. It's been very good, thanks. It's been just over 2.5 weeks since the surgery. Feeling much better. The first week was very tough, but now starting to walk again, which is quite nice. Not quite ready to start training again, but just have to be home here with my family and my brother. So yeah.
Do you think it puts that much pressure on you to make sure that you're ready on time for next year, or do you think you've got sufficient time to recover and train for the Olympics next year?
Well, I think for me, I've used this break also as a mental break, so I'm able to focus on things that I want to get better. So just focusing on the positive things. When you can't stimulate the body, I feel like you can always train the mind. So especially on long flights, when you're traveling for 10, 15 hours, I'm always thinking about positive things. And that's no difference now. Just during these 2 weeks, not able to train, just being happy with my family, but also just focusing on, hopefully gold medals next year and medals in the future. So, yeah.
And talking about pressure, you heard me in my intro just chatting that, listen, you're on the verge of becoming the most successful Olympic, competitor in South Africa. Does it put that much pressure on you to make sure that you perform when you get to the Olympics next year?
No, I think definitely, look, there's pressure always in professional sport. I think for me, this has been a goal of mine for a long time now. Obviously, going to the Olympic Games is a huge honor to wear the green and gold, but I think after I got the 4 medals at the last 2 games, I just need 1 more bronze medal, and that'll make me the most, officially the most successful. I think I have a lot of goals that I want to achieve outside the pool too, not just in the pool. And I feel that the Olympic Games is just a starting platform for me to continue the Clos legacy in South Africa and internationally.
Talking about some of the things that you want to achieve outside of the pool with regards to your foundation, I do know that right now you are, creating masks in terms of combating the coronavirus. How did this come about, and how has the experience been for you so far?
Yeah, it's been really rewarding so far because obviously, during this pandemic, all business has been put on hold. So even my academy, I've had to press pause on that. For all the kids. So at the moment, what I have done is I teamed up with a local distributor here in South Africa, in Durban, and we've created masks, which I've got here.
Nice.
Yeah, so what we're basically doing is 100% of it is going to charity, or 90%, and then 10% is going to my foundation, which is actually going to be giving back to swimmers during this time that haven't been able to do anything. So we're giving a lot of masks now to the Sandton Police Force, and Joburg healthcare workers in Durban. And yeah, just so far we've 5,000 have been distributed now from Discovery, so big thanks to them. And yeah, I'm just very grateful for this opportunity because I just feel like if everyone can just give, just give a little bit back to the communities, it'll help South Africa get back on track and help the poor communities. Because I tell you, I've just been going to the shops and seeing so many poor people from this lockdown, and just buying a loaf of bread or 3 loaves of bread, which costs whatever, 25, 30 rand, you're giving it to those people and feeding them for the afternoon. That can really help, that can help project us forward, because a lot of people have lost jobs, uncontrollable jobs. Businesses have closed down overnight from this pandemic. So it's really affected the community big time. And I'm just hoping me and my family can play our small role and help South Africa get back on its feet.
Well, we commend you on that, but let's chat a bit more about your foundation and just about some of the work that you guys are doing outside of what you're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's been a passion project of mine for many, many years. We started my foundation a year ago, but we also started the academy 2 years ago, and they kind of correlate together. So what we try to do is to help swimmers from around the country, but during this pandemic, we've got a lot of community work which we've scheduled for hopefully December, going right through to the first week of February. in towns like Guguletu, Blue Dance Community in Cape Town, Khayelitsha. We're starting in Cape Town because that's where it's based. But we're looking to go through to Johannesburg and Durban. But it's just been really relieving to see the support that I've had from the people and from companies like Discovery, obviously my sponsors. But I'm encouraging more corporates to get behind because, you know, we're trying to make South Africa a better place, of course. But the most important thing is we have positive people behind us. We have positive intentions, and right from the beginning, from this 2-year project that we've had people that have been in my corner that want no reward from it, that we're giving straight back to everyone else. So that's my piece and my legacy back to South Africa. Continued with the gold medals, hopefully.
Absolutely amazing. Do you think enough is done to develop young swimmers to come up and take over from the likes of you?
No, definitely not, actually. I think we have a lot of youngsters that are coming through. I mean, we had, even at the World Championships, you know, we had Zane Waddle, Tatjana Schumacher, both winning gold and silver. You know, the youngsters coming through that have been knocking on the door for many years, and not many people have known about them just because, you know, in South Africa, obviously, to win Olympic gold is a huge thing, and once you win that, you're okay, you know, but the build-up towards that is very difficult, you know. I mean, I remember coming through the ranks, you know, I was a world champion, I was a Commonwealth champion, and relatively unknown with, you know, it was a difficult time, you know, to get sponsors, and I've always been lucky, I've been blessed by amazing sponsors, but I look at the youngsters that are coming through. I mean, there's a young boy I was training with, Ethan Dupree, you know, who's up-and-coming butterfly swimmer, who's, you know, we trained together a couple of times, and on the verge of making his Olympic debut at 15, you know, so not many people know about that, and I think that if corporate South Africa can get behind those guys, you know, I mean, I think the older generation like us, we've had great sponsors, but it's hard to see the youngsters coming through and not have any support really, you know, so that's also why with this foundation, you know, we've raised a couple of thousand, 100,000 now, and like I say, by November we're going to get that money and put it straight back into the sports and help develop the next generation, because through my academy and my foundation, it's been a huge goal of mine, you know, because if you look at swimming, we have 3,000 registered swimmers in South Africa. We had 2 Olympic gold medals in Cameron van der Berg and Chad de Clos in the last 8 years. America have 750,000 registered swimmers. So pro rata, we're the best swimming country in the world. We're the best country in the world. So if we had more people, and we have 60 million people, we shouldn't only have 3,000 registered swimmers, you know, and that's because of the fact that when swimmers get to matric and pass matric and you know, 19, 20, they have no future because they have no money. So for me, I had to take a gamble those years, you know, when I was in school and breaking into the first team of South Africa. I had to kind of gamble with no money, and you know, my parents helped me so much, and you know, it was a difficult couple of years, you know, until I won that gold medal in the Olympics.
Well, one thing for sure is that we're thankful that we have people like you that are trying to bridge the gap with the academy that you just started. But I know that you've also called for Sun Yang to be stripped of his gold medal that he won in Rio, on top of his 8-year ban. Do you think that ban is not enough to punish him for his doping scandals?
Well, I think, you know, for me, firstly, I have no personal vendetta against Sun Yang. You know, I don't know him as a person. I just know that, you know, he's tested positive twice now for banned substance, and also when the drug testers came to his house, he smashed the vials with a hammer, which is ridiculous. So, you know, I think the 8-year ban, I mean, whatever ban you want to give, it doesn't really matter, because he's made so much off his 3 Olympic gold medals over the last 8 years. He's also, you know, he's made a name for himself in China, you know, and what I'm saying is he's gained much positives from his doping scandals, from his doping, and I feel like, you know, the likes of Lance Armstrong, Marion Jones, all these people that have tested positive, great names in the past, they were stripped of their Olympic gold medals and their Tour de France titles. I mean, Lance Armstrong, as we know, is one of the greatest sportsmen ever, you know, before his scandal, and he got all his Tour de France taken away from one doping test. Now, Sun Yang has tested positive twice. He's embarrassed swimming on numerous occasions. You know, if you've watched the World Championships last year, calling people losers on the podium after he clearly has been doping for many years. It's, you know, it's quite disgraceful in some respects. But again, it's nothing personal against him. It's just, you know, what he's done. You should be banned. It's as simple as that. You know, I mean, if anybody had to come to my house and test me, anybody, even if they hadn't have the right authority, I'd give them my blood. I have nothing to hide. You know, so. You know, I ask you the question, as an innocent man, why would you destroy the vials of blood if you have nothing to hide? You know, it's comical, you know. So I just feel like he's embarrassing the sport, he's embarrassing people, and quite frankly, you know, it's just, you know, killing a generation of swimmers, you know, not just myself that should be having the gold medal, but the likes of James Guy, who got the 4th place at the Olympic Games. He was a young 19-year-old coming through the ranks. He could have been an Olympic medalist. The guy that came 9th could have been 8th in the final, and coming 8th in the Olympic final was a huge honor. My teammate Miles Brown, he came 10th in that race.
Sure.
So he could have been 9th, and even the guy that came 2nd in that race, Connor Dwyer, tested positive for testosterone. So my friend would have been in the final. Maybe he could have got a medal with me. So there's a lot of things that could have happened after that night. You know, sports is crazy, you know. I mean, even me and Phelps looking at this racer, you're bringing back amazing memories. You know, I think so many things went right that day. And could you imagine someone was doping and I missed out on the final or something? And then that moment that I've had now, this iconic platform, I mean, the way you're interviewing me is, you know, all started from that moment. So there's a lot of snowball effects that happened, and I just feel like justice should be served in that respect.
Well, Chad, I really do hope that justice is served with regards to you wanting to get that gold medal. But thank you so much for joining us here on the show. He goes by the name of Chad Clos, an Olympic gold medalist here in South Africa, doing what he can to also help those in need through his foundation.